Objections, I could tell you, while we were building this, also 2 elite positions we broke during COVID. Like Chris and Sarah. We did Zoom meeting after Zoom meeting after Zoom meeting in our house. And speaking of our house, and this is an obstacle, maybe an objection, I don't know guys, but me and my wife, we came from nothing. Like I was born, my mom, single mom, until I was about 10 years old. She married a guy who adopted me and my brother, became my dad. There's days I didn't eat growing up. I came from a very small mining community in Montana. They forced me to start wrestling. I was about, I don't know, maybe 4 years old. The local police chief called my mom and said, you need to do something with that kid because he's going to end up in juvenile hall or prison by the time he's 18. Because I would fight at the drop of a hat. I was the smallest kid, we were the poorest family, and I would just soon punch you in the face and argue with you. And I did that because I was small. And I thought, if I got the first shot in, somebody bigger would come in and break it up before they'd kill me, right? And so that was kind of my life. My whole life was like that. And I got angry and I got bitter because we had nothing. And I remember telling myself, I was about my sophomore year in high school, I said, I'm going to figure out these grades, I'm going to get good grades, and I want to go to college, because my parents couldn't afford to send me to college, so I have to get scholarships. And so I buckled down. I did really well. I got accepted. I ended up going with wrestling scholarships, academic scholarships. It wasn't a lot back then, especially for Montana. And I got 3 degrees. I got a chemistry degree I never used. I was freshman year of college. I was walking in the school, walking down the hallway, and I saw this cute little blonde walk into a class. I followed her in. I sat behind her. I ended up getting a chemistry degree. I got ADHD too, if you're wondering. And so, and I didn't marry her. That was what I asked Summer. This is funny. I asked Summer when we first met, about 2 years into our relationship, like, where have you been all my life? She was like, probably about in junior high school. A little bit of an age difference. And so that's where I was at, guys, when I saw this business. I worked for the Justice Department. I ran the medical department at a state prison. I worked for the FBI. I hated all of it. Because I just knew I wanted more. And I just felt if I worked for somebody else, I was never going to get there. And one day I remember I was on my way to work, and I turned around and came home. I was done. I just couldn't do it anymore. My dad, who raised me and adopted me, got killed the next day, got hit by a car. I was living in Portland, Oregon, the only time I lived out of Montana until we live in Vegas now. We moved home that day, and I moved home to take care of my mom. And I bought a business 3 days after I moved home. And then a month later, I bought another one. And about 6 months later, I started another one. And so I've had 30 companies in 25 years. I've sold 29 of them. I made a lot of money. I had a TV show that I won a lot of awards for. But I hated my life, guys. I'll be honest with you, 100%. I made a lot of money, but I was miserable. I was lonely. My son died in my arms 13 years ago. I was divorced after 19 years marriage 13 years ago, and I was paralyzed from the waist down 13 years ago, all in the same year. I got a bunch of rods holding my spine together. And I was so over it. And about 8.5 years ago, I met this doctor on the riverbank outside of Great Falls, Montana, that just walked up to me and said, Rob, I'd love for you to be my business partner. What do you got? And he started talking about PubMed and all that. I pulled my cell phone right out in front of him, and I went to PubMed.com, and I go, what's the name of your product? Because I was going to shut him down right now, right? I was hoping to shut him down. I want to be a business partner. And when I hit search, 16 studies came up back then. I went, well, there might be something here. Long story short, I get involved in this business. 37 days later, I meet my beautiful wife. I honestly believe that my son was watching over me, saying, Dad, I'm going to throw you a bone. Really, no pun intended. It's your choice if you're going to take it or not. Oh, you two are bad. You two are bad. I said, it's your choice if you're going to take it or not, right? You guys, every one of you are where you're at right now because of the choices you've made. Every one of you. You're exactly where you're at because of every choice you ever made. I always tell people all the time, it is so easy to make money once you understand money. It is so easy to make money once you understand it, but 99% of you in here don't understand because you were never taught it. Man, I went to everything, I read every book you could read on making money and investing and running businesses. I spent thousands and thousands of dollars studying it and learning it, and I got so damn good at it, it's destroyed my life. And then when I met Summer, she actually gave me that chance to be that husband I always knew he could be. And honestly, the father I always knew I wanted to be. And I don't take that lightly. If you guys have ever been in front of me and my wife or in front of me on a presentation like some of you guys do, get on that every Monday night, every call, I come at people really hard. I really do. I come at them hard because I know I can change your life. And so I'm going to cover obstacles and objections, which what a perfect topic for me. Oh my God. You never come to me with an excuse. I don't accept any excuses from anybody at any time. I don't care who you are, where you are, what you are. If you come at me with an excuse or an objection, did you know while we were building this, let's just say the last 3 years of mine and Summer's life, do you guys know who Louis Vuitton is? Yeah, largest fashion giant in the world. Yeah, we sued them about 3.5, 4 years ago and won. They literally infringed on one of my copyrights. I own a very large clothing company, and they infringed on it. They were literally taking my product and selling it in Asia and Europe as fashion wear. And I found out about it. And you ask my wife, my company's put me through so much stress, like lawsuit after lawsuit. I had a law firm on retainer. It wasn't worth it. I remember I was with Marcel and Blue the day that the attorneys called, because I went to a bunch of attorneys in Montana and said, hey, I got this thing. I'm going to win this, but what do you want? And they were terrified. They would not take it. And I found a law firm in New York City, one of the strongest copyright law firms in the country, and they're ruthless. And it took me 2 months to get the senior partner on the call. He finally got on the phone with me and said, listen, I'm going to win this, but I am not going to give you a $2 million retainer. But when we win, I'll give you 50-50. And we split 50-50. I was with Marcel and Blue. We were racing Lamborghinis in Las Vegas, and I got a phone call. They first wanted to settle, and I said, no, that's not right. Let's go to court. It was like, guys, if you were paying, you can even Google ASAP and Supreme. It'll come. You can see the lawsuits. All the NPRs, all the news stations, all the news networks. The stress that put me through. We just get done with that one. A year and a half later, we had 2 multi-million-dollar homes we sold for cash in Montana during COVID. People from California just wanted out. So it was crazy money in multi-million-dollar properties. We moved to St. George because we didn't know where we wanted to go. Knock at the door, another lawsuit. One of the properties we sold, we were getting sued for $1.2 million. And it was nothing that we did. Literally nothing that we did. $87,000 later, with legal fees, they pushed me out of the lawsuit. They just went after their real estate firm, not even mine. And someone's like, I wanted to hammer them. But I was like, babe, I'm done. Like, I'm done. Like, it's just money, right? It's just money. Let's just keep moving on. Let's just go do our thing, right? Guys, we moved out of about a 7,000, our bedroom was 1,500 square feet. We had 5 fireplaces, 5 decks. Me and Summer could sit in our bathtub next to each other with a fireplace at our feet. We left that and we moved above a garage in St. George, Utah, because we were building on that resort in Desert Color there. Our apartment was 440 square feet. My daughter's bed was touching the refrigerator. You know that phrase, shit, shower, shave? That was it. And I remember one of our group came down one time and they were seeing us, and he sat there in that little living room, and you could just do it all at once. He goes, oh my God. He goes, you guys sacrificed so much for success. He goes, the house that you rent to this now, that house that we rent, that we moved out of, guys, was such a distraction. It wasn't doing what we wanted it to do mentally. Could you imagine having world-class hunting and fishing on your property, where my wife would get up in the morning and she'd have a bow in her hand and she'd go out the door. And there'd be elk crossing the river on both sides, deer, golf course in the back part of it. And I'd watch her, because we had a baby at the time. And she'd come back and I'd go, what happened? Well, the ducks and geese were all around me, but I couldn't shoot them with the bow. So the next morning I'd see her, she'd go out with the shotgun, like Elmer Fudd. And I could see the elk crossing and her bugling, and she'd come back and go, what happened? Well, elk were all around me, but I only had the gun, so I couldn't shoot them because archer only. So after about a week of that, I'd look out, she'd have a shotgun in one hand and a bow in the other. And we sold that property to build this business because we wanted to focus so much on this. Guys, it is so important that you make this your plan A mentally. It might not be your plan A mentally because you got to put food on the table maybe in your job or your other business. But if you don't make this your plan A mentally, you will never, ever, ever build this to an executive level. It mentally has to be your plan A. So if you came up to me on the street and said, hey, Rob, what do you do? I wouldn't say, well, I own casinos, construction, land and cattle, real estate, fast food restaurants, clothing, laundry detergent. I think I gave you a list. If you ask me what I did, it's like, teach people how to create generational wealth. I go to this. I never, ever go back to my past life. It's my plan A. Guys, it has to be your plan A. Objections. How many of you guys get objections in this thing? Isn't it? To me, it's like, you know how many people I've called moron or idiot in the 8 years me and my wife have been doing this? Thousands. Thousands. I kid you not. Marcel was sitting next to me and my wife one time at a restaurant in St. George. He was sitting at a table here. Me and my wife were here. We were enrolling people like crazy. Marcel was like, I gotta see how you guys do this. Like, I've heard about your Monday night call up. We're doing a presentation, and I literally called this guy a moron and an idiot 2 or 3 times. And after about 30 minutes, he pulled out his credit card. He goes, I'm in, sign me up. He signed him up. And he leaves, and Marcel comes over and he goes, what did I just see? He goes, Rob, I know you called the guy an idiot. He goes, I honestly thought you were going to get in a fight. He goes, but he literally threw the credit card at you and said, sign me up. He goes, why do you think he did that? He goes, I might have called him a moron, but I did it out of love. Because I knew I could help him. And my conviction is so damn strong. And you heard Jason say it, man. You follow me, I'll take you to the promised land. And I know that. When I walk into the room, I command attention. I feel that. You have to have that kind of confidence, guys. You have to. You have to. We've been through hell and back. I've literally failed myself to financial freedom. I failed so many times in my life, but I just never quit. I just kept going, and I kept going, and I kept going. Well, Rob, I don't have any money. Oh, man, never, ever, ever, ever. That's the worst excuse you could ever give me. I met a young man, I can say young, but he was 39 years old, sitting in a restaurant. Just got out of prison for the 3rd time. He's been out a month. Had 0 money. I said, what do you want out of this? And I said, be very careful how you answer this. Because if you don't answer it the way I need you to answer it, I'm out of here. You will never see me again because you'll be dead or back in prison in a year. The state took his son away. If he would have told me that he wanted to make money, I would have walked out. I said, I want my son back. 14 months later, we got his son back, guys. 2.5 years later, from the day that me and my wife fed him, he invited us out at his house that he bought on 8 acres outside of Helena, Montana. You think that was worth it? You think that was worth that pathetic little excuse that he was going to give me? Because we pulled it out of you. Man, you lock arms with some of these people, we'll pull everything we can out of you to get you to be the person that you really need to be. When I met Candy, I don't know why I said, oh my God, got these 3 women, all of them signed up, blah, 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 blah. I go, let me meet them. So I went and met them all. Met all 3 of them. Oh, this one will probably do it, that one will do it. The one, she's a train wreck. She's a train wreck. She's got this, she's got that, she's got this. She was ready to check out life. Like everything in her life was going to hell. I said, I'd give her 2 weeks. You know how I tell if you're hungry? Your sense of urgency. How bad do you want it? Probably 20-some meetings later in 2 weeks, Kenny was rank dancing and going after this thing. She literally about passed out her first phone call. Lips blue. And she went out and did it. Do you think she had to overcome a few things? I don't know anybody, Rob. My wife had 17 people on her phone. Those are contact. She got one through a really nasty divorce and deleted everybody. Nobody that she knew outside of this business is in our business. 2 of her best friends blocked her on Facebook because they hated to see how successful she was becoming. Isn't that horrible? Guys are like crabs in a bucket out there trying to suck you back from going out and getting what you want out of life. I want you to remember something today, guys. This is so important. Are you a thermometer or are you a thermostat? A thermometer, you react to everything, highs and lows. You let everything in life dictate everywhere you go in life. Is that you? A lot of you in here it is. Are you a thermostat? Who said that? Say that again.
Regulates the temperature.
You're right. I set the temperature. Me and my wife set the temperature in our life. Good or bad, that's us. Be a thermostat, not a thermometer. A lot of times thermometers are followers. Right? They're the ones that have all the excuses all the time. Oh, Rob, it takes money to make money. Really? That's the biggest bullshit excuse I've ever heard in my life. You know how many friends that me and my wife have that built multi-million-dollar businesses off their cell phone? Does it take money? No, it takes guts. It takes getting out of your comfort zone and going and doing what you need to do. Start fighting for you and your family. Start fighting for what you want out of life. Because I'm telling you, parents in here, if you don't start fighting the fight now, who's going to fight that fight later? Your kids. We almost kill ourselves for a little girl. She's got the most amazing life. Unbelievable life that little girl has. Why? It's because her mom and dad made a decision 8.5 years ago. It's just a decision, guys. It's just a decision to go out and get what you really deserve and what you really want in life. Man, you've got to start fighting for it. It just breaks my heart when I see people in this business have so much talent, have so much everything, and they play games with this. Did you know that these leaders in this room believe in you so much? Like, I spent so much time and money believing in helping people, and to see them not put little to no effort out there is an insult. It's an insult to the people that believe in you more than you probably believe in yourself right now. It's time that you lift yourself up. Start being that leader, right? I promise you, I'm not a people pleaser. I'm a leader. A lot of leaders think they are, but they're people pleasers. Everything's got to be cush in their group. Everything's got to be okay. I don't want to upset that person. I don't want to upset that person. Are you freaking kidding me? I wouldn't follow you into a grocery store. You got to start having a spine. You got to start owning what you want out of life. Demand respect. It's earned, but demand it. Treat your business like that. Don't treat your business like a little Tupperware hobby. Guys, you guys seen these people speak up here, like Kristen Taylor, dude. Unbelievable. Candy. Where's the Amish gentleman back there? Holy smokes. Kudos to you, kid. Like, unbelievable. Do you think he had an excuse? A bunch of them. I think one of the best leaders in this company is Toby Detweiler, and he gets little to no recognition. And he don't want it anyway. He's one of the most humblest men I've ever met. But I believe he's one of the best leaders in this company. Man, we truly need you guys to start fighting for this.